Resilient is not a word I would have used to describe this era of Phillies baseball. They've got some personalities. They've got some high-profile guys. They have some very high-paid players. But battling back, never being out of a game, that's not how I'd categorize them, especially 2023 through a month ago. And suddenly, it's a little bit different. They've had good luck through this run. There hasn't been a ton of adversity. But this year, things have changed. The staff ace, the most consistent and dominant starter in the NL, he's gone. Their best reliever coming into this year, suspended, not playoff eligible, and he's shut down now. They have lost player after player. The entire left side of their infield is missing, and their best utility infielder is missing all of a sudden. And it just feels a little different that they're figuring out ways to win. This is not just the Schwarber and Harper show all of a sudden. Guys like Kemp, guys like Marchand, guys like freaking Chris Sanchez have popped so much in the wake of this year's bad luck. Max Kepler, once a DFA candidate, a couple of months ago, is pimping home runs in a huge comeback inning. Marsh, Tyler telling me his OPS up 200 points from just a couple of months ago. This team is suddenly a complete team. Chris Sanchez, not his best start last night, but all of a sudden able to battle through and get 7 innings with the lead, get through 7 with the lead. This has the makings of a special team, and I did not see that coming. And the unexpected special season, that's always the most fun. And after the last few series, I cannot wait for Red October. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to Billadelphia. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the afternoon. Joining me, my excellent producer, Tyler Zulli. We are live in the Xfinity studio, talking a little Red October today, talking some football, might even get some wrestling in as well because bang, bang, baby, Wrestling Wednesdays. We got to lead it off with some headlines, of course. The Phillies played the game of the year last night, and there have been some candidates recently. Since the Mets series, they have played some really, really fun games. But battling back the way they did last night, Ohtani, 5 no-hit innings. They take him out at 68 pitches, and suddenly the hangover washed away. Like they all jumped in the ocean and came back. I think we can finally put to rest all the complaints about how this team celebrates after each milestone, clinching the playoffs, clinching the division, moving on to each round as they have over the last few years. I know there's some people out there that say you save the champagne for when it's all over, but dear Lord, I mean, it didn't seem to have hurt them too much last night. Now, yeah, the first 5 innings, they get no hit, but Ohtani's one of the best overall players I've ever seen. They get no hit through 5 innings once a week, it feels like. I don't know if we can specifically blame the hangover for it. I will say, I don't know if I've ever felt more like, I've never felt that JT Real Muto is more relatable. He misses the game because of illness last night. And yeah, man, 34, 35 years old. Those hangovers just hit a little harder than they used to. And listen, they weren't able to pinch hit him, and so Marchand gets a chance and wins the game for them. I know after every big win, we're like, that's the game of the year. But Tyler, that one felt actually like the game of the year, did it not?
Yeah, I think probably. I mean, I think you're right. Like you probably start to push them further and further out of your mind the further you go, right? Because that's just how we operate as people. But I think I mean, they were pretty much buried. And I think if you would have told me last night, first of all, if you would have shut it off after 5 innings because they were getting no hit, like I couldn't blame you, right?
I was so ready, like, oh, okay, they're down 4-0. I don't have to watch this whole game. I can go to bed, and it's a late game. I can get up and prepare the show in the morning. And then suddenly Ohtani comes out, and I am sucked right in.
I mean, if you would have told me last night that you went to bed and they ended up losing 14-0, I'd have been like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like the hangover game, and it just is what it was. The offense wasn't clicking. The way in which this team fights back, and they did it on multiple different occasions because they go up 6-4. Robertson doesn't pitch particularly well. They make it 6-6. Marchand, of all people, is the guy that kind of provides that extra spark. The secondary group that you're getting production from, Marsh, Kepler, Stott, Kemp, Marchand last night, like it's not the same guy every night, but it's somebody every night.
Yeah, and that's we've talked like leading in, like they were always going to make the playoffs, and it was, all right, man, they need those top 3 guys and then one more dude to hit. And now suddenly it's, they are actually getting contributions. Like the offense without Trey Turner, suddenly like guys are doing stuff. No Alec Bohm, no problem. It has been surprising and pretty exciting to see heading into the point of the season where they absolutely fell apart last year, and they were leaking oil well into the playoffs before it all fell apart against the Mets. To see them peaking now is it's pretty cool. All right, I don't need a whole nother day of tush-push discourse. We don't need to do that again, Tyler. I'm sure it'll be a whole thing next week again after the Eagles beat up another opponent. I'm sure of it. But I got to tell you, on the Jordan Mailata show on WIP last night, he gave a whole monologue about how disrespectful it is to say the team only wins because of this. He says it's disrespectful to the defense, to the special teams who absolutely balled out, and to say like one short yardage play is all we have is just rubbish, man. It makes my blood boil just thinking about it. I just think it's rubbish. One, you gotta love Jordan Mailata. Like he's hilarious. But also, I really appreciate that this team is able to find some sort of internal motivation. Every team plays the disrespect card. Every single team in every single sport plays the underdog thing. And it's like, they've won 18 of 19. They came off of a Super Bowl win. They have the best O-line. They have the best defense. They have the best running back. They have the best receivers. Like, how can you really play the disrespect card when you're going to be favored in every game this year? They have found something. And it actually kind of plays because guys who pretty much work for the NFL, whether it's Dean Blandino or Adam Schefter, are coming out and having these. I really appreciate that this team is actually able to dig down and find some of that. We are being disrespected, and quite honestly, it's not fake. Like, they're not making it up. People are saying this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to use whatever internal motivation you need, especially once you get to the mountaintop. We've seen so many teams, not just in the NFL. Like, I was listening to Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant the other day talk about, it was a while back, but I was listening to the segment the other day talk about how they won the 2016 World Series, and it was such a weight of the world off their shoulders feel that it was really, really hard for them. And they won a lot of games in 2017, but it was really, really hard for them to get back to that locked in mentality for another postseason run. They end up losing in the NLCS because it's hard to repeat. But I think whatever motivation, whatever tool whether it's manufactured or not, God, we watched Jordan make stuff up in his own brain that this guy was out to get me because it worked for him.
He gets into the Hall of Fame and calls out his high school coach. He's still motivated by this stuff. We watched the whole Last Dance, and that dude is losing his mind over stuff that happened 30 years ago. And that's just what it takes, and that's why, speaking of special teams, I just think this is. One more headline. I just see a lot of people. I'm seeing a lot of think pieces and tweets and articles all about the Tom Brady conflict of interest, do we really care? Like, I guess there's a world in which, like, he's in the production meetings when you sit down with certain players and coaching staffs, and he could pass on some information, I guess, to the Raiders. But, like, I don't know. One, I guess it's really, he's got the history of cheating with the Patriots. So it's like, he'll take anything. But I don't know. Is there anything that's ever said on a broadcast by any announcers that are like, oh my goodness, that's some insight? If the other team knew about this, like, it would be all over. Do we actually care about the conflict of interest?
Well, no, I think because half of the broadcasters just make inaudible noises half the time, so it doesn't really matter. But I will
Here
say
we go,
this.
Jim.
Yeah, like I will say this. Like I think in the circumstance, as you brought up, it being Brady is a thing. It being somebody who is in an ownership group, I think actively. It's kind of like insider. It's not. Like I think people are trying to compare this to like insider trading, where it's like, well, if you're a politician and you're buying stock, like that's not like. It's not that serious, right? Like it's not a world event. It's Tom Brady on the broadcast. But I do think there is merit to say maybe it's a little strange, like because of the history of Deflategate and the history of Spygate and all of this. Like I think if it were some dude who just happened to be a minority owner of a team, I don't know if anybody would bat as much of an eye. But I think because nominally it's Tom Brady.
It's Tom Brady and we don't like him as a society.
Right.
We've moved on from Tom Brady. Like, I bet you if this was Peyton Manning, we wouldn't care. Like, we'd be like, oh, yeah, Peyton's funny. He's in all those commercials. You know?
Yeah, I
but
think
because it's Brady and we just still dislike him, that's what makes it a big deal.
Yeah, Brady, you bring up Manning too. Like Manning's personality is different. It's somebody who I guess people feel like, you know, he's kind of the funny uncle type of thing, right? Like he's a little dorky, says all these Omahas and stuff like that. With Brady, there's obviously the history of his career, which is still objectively the best of all time. But I think people still don't get over that.
Yeah, I really think it comes down to more, we just don't like Tom Brady as a society. We've moved on from him, and he must be cheating. Where if it was literally anyone else, we'd be like, I don't care. All right, we have a lot of other stuff to get to in the final 15 of the show, but first, let's take a commercial break. You know that moment, the one where you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach or on the roof of your car or at a gas station 3 states away? We have all been there. I don't know why I keep wearing my glasses in the ocean, but I do. And I have lost so many freaking pairs of them that it's honestly just getting ridiculous. It's like a running bit in my life. But I have since found Shady Rays, and it has changed the game because these sunglasses, not only are they made for real life, they're great looking, they're polarized, they're durable, they're not stupid expensive. And as you can tell, a lot of polarized glasses, you look at like your nav screen in the car or your phone, and they mess with your eyes a little bit. I am reading this ad read right now, and I am doing it perfectly clearly with a pair of polarized Shady Rays. But the best part of Shady Rays is if you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now I actually wear my sunglasses without fear to the beach, at concerts, wherever. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. And we've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. All you got to do is head to shadyrays.com and use code PHLY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
Yeah, we're officially in the middle of the week, which means we are one step closer to football weekend. College, pro, no matter what it is, if you are a big fan, don't get fan-fished by some internet that doesn't work itself out. Get Xfinity. If you call yourself a football fan, you have to have Xfinity. It is the ultimate sports destination. You can find all of the best games, your favorite teams, all in one place. And the way that you watch, it becomes next level. It's the perfect fan flex that gives you all of the action right in your living room. Plus, Xfinity gives you best picture and sound enhanced with 4K. It's going to feel like you're right at the stadium, right at the ballpark, whatever it might be. So don't miss out on an opportunity to have an incredible viewing opportunity in front of you with lesser internet and with lesser viewing abilities than Xfinity provides you. And sometimes you can watch 4 games at once, because why not? You have the option to do it. You might as well take advantage of it. And on top of that, you get real-time notification and live stat updates tailgates right on your TV. It is the best seat in the house every single time. So next game day, don't get fanfish. Make sure that big fan in your life isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that.
All right, it's time for a little Matt's Hates Mornings, because I got to tell you, man, I go to Wawa every single morning on my way into work, grab 2 energy drinks, maybe a pepperoni sandwich. I'm going to live forever. Don't worry about it. The door holding situation at Wawa is out of control. I understand everyone wants to be nice to each other, and it's almost become like a thing at Wawa that this is what we do. Everyone holds the door. There are 2 doors, and everyone has somewhere to be. That's why we're there. We have stopped there, and now we're going somewhere else, probably work. It has become like a 4-way stop where everybody freezes and no one knows what to do. Everyone's just holding a door. No one's going inside, and you feel like the a-hole for being like, I'm just going in. But there are 2 doors. Treat it like the road. You're on the right. They come out the left. It's very simple. It's starting to actually drive me insane to the point where I might just start going to Heritage every morning, because there, everyone's just getting their cigarettes and not talking to each other, and I really appreciate that.
I do think that it has become almost Midwest nice when you go to a place like Wawa, right? Because it's become a running gag almost of like, well, Wawa is the standard of what you should do to people, right? Like, you should be kind and hold the door. But it's become the point where the Midwest nice is like, you open the door, and I almost look at it and go, all right, man, I'm still 15 steps away.
No, I got to do like the pretend hustle.
I'm not doing the little jog thing. Like, just go in. I'm good. You're cool. I appreciate.
Both of my arms work.
Thank you. You know, you give the salute, tip of the cap, whatever it might be. Like, thank you for everything. But like, you don't have to be that person. If the door hold is reserved for if you're right behind me, or especially if you've got like 5 items and you're like cradling the items.
Someone coming out when you're going in and their hands are full, absolutely. Otherwise, what are we doing?
Exactly.
All right, I want to hit a little bit of Red October. Got a couple questions for you here, Tyler. Tyler just wrapped up his own PHLY Phillies show, so I'm just going to make him keep working here. First of all, how do we feel about T-Mac dropping an Into the Night on Kepler's home run? Is it a good reference, or is it like, I don't know, that's kind of reserved for one of the greatest moments of my sports fandom?
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit too much on the nose on that one. I'm not going to complain about it. I think
I'm not going to rip him for it. I'm just like, is it too early for an Into the Night?
Yeah, I think so. I think if he does it in because I think they get to call the wild card, but not anything further. Like, if they were to play in the wild card, I'd be okay with it. I don't know. I think because of where it was, because of the magnitude of the home run, I give it a little bit of leeway, but I do think it's one of those calls, it maybe feels like it's, I don't want to call it a ripoff, but an imitation.
Yeah, it's just, like, that moment was so big. And last night was a crazy game. I called it the game of the year. It's a ridiculous comeback. It's back and forth. If we get 7 games of these 2 teams, I don't know if I'm going to live through it. But, like, I don't know. The Stairs home run is iconic to me. And the Kepler one was cool. I'm glad it happened. It was a great game. But, not quite.
I think
not quite Into the Night worthy.
Yeah, it's probably not on that level. I mean, I get why he did it. I would say probably you maybe want that one back.
Can we be done with Robertson on consecutive days? I realize like, in the postseason, it's not a possibility. But, like, he's 140, and it feels like every time we do this, something bad happens.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're going to have an option. I think you're going to have to, because I think he's pitched well for the most part.
He has.
Last night, notwithstanding, gives up the 2 runs, but I think you're going to have to, right? This is a guy that you've paid some, it's prorated money, but you have paid some significant money to, and especially with the fact that outside of Duran, he's probably your next high-leverage righty because Kerkering has not been as good as he was in the first half, especially with inherited runners. I think you're going to have to rely upon him, and sometimes it's going to call for back-to-backs. And I understand he's getting older. He's not 26 or 28. He's 40 years old, but
he's not 38.
I think you're going to have to. I do.
I know. It's just like I feel like he's pitched really well, except for on the back end of back-to-backs. But in the playoffs, I guess we really did. This is where the Alvarado injury kills you. And, like, maybe not having the starting pitching depth to be able to move as many guys to the pen as we were hoping. This is kind of where that's really killing you.
Well, and I think,
what
too,
else can you do?
Not only with the depth, but I think the two guys that are towards the back end of your rotation, whether it be Aaron Nola or you think about Taijuan Walker, both of them, now Walker has pitched in the bullpen this year, but both of those guys' first inning numbers are not good this season. And really, quite frankly, for Walker, it's been a couple of years now where he just doesn't settle in the first inning for whatever reason it might be. If you had a perfect world with Zach Wheeler, I think in the first round especially, it's easy to say, hey, Rangers moving to the pen or Luzardo's moving to the pen. Now, without Zach Wheeler, those three guys are probably your three staples in the NLDS. I think that, you're going to have to rely upon on a 40-year-old to pitch back-to-back days.
It's kind of just the situation they're in. I just wish there was some way around it. All right, let's hit that next commercial. Whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino app. You got to check out brand new casino games like Huff and More Puff and the BetParx exclusive Fireblaze Sky Queen. It's the only app I ever use to play all my favorite casino games right in the palm of my hand. They've got blackjack, they've got roulette, they've got craps, poker, baccarat, and hot online slots like Cash Eruption, 88 Fortunes, and Cleopatra. They've also got slots based on your favorite streaming shows like Squid Game and The Walking Dead. And right now, new users can get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. All you got to do is go to betparx.com and download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. You must be 21 and in PA, Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, let me tell you about our friends over at Cherry Hill Mitsubishi, because if you're looking for the most affordable 7-passenger SUV in America, CherryHillMitsubishi.com has you covered with the 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander. And excuse me as I try to find this little tab there. There it is. Take advantage of the 0% for 60 months APR financing for Pennsylvania residents only. Or if you're looking to keep that money a little bit down, $55 a month gets you a Mitsubishi Mirage 2024 with $0 down retail. Now, that offer is not valid with trade-in. It is subject to credit approval. Not all applicants may apply, but if you do qualify, $55 a month is a good deal to keep your car payment low. Combine that with the best warranty in the automotive business, 100,000 miles over 10-year powertrain, 60,000 mile over 5-year bumper-to-bumper. Why settle for less and have to be on the hook for costly repairs if something were to happen down the line? So stop in today, tell them PHLY sent you, and you'll get a $100 restaurant.com gift card just for taking a test drive or completing a trade-in appraisal. Listen, I know people buy Mitsubishis elsewhere. I'm just not entirely sure why. Drive home in your new Mitsubishi today, just minutes from all bridges, or available online 24/7 at cherryhillmitsubishi.com.
Dave, I absolutely do shampoo every single day. Yes, minus 1,500. Those odds way too short. Let's hit a little bit. Oh, and what's up, Ava? I see you. Yes, I am going to live forever. I think I am just immortal. Maybe I'm a god. Who's to say? All right, a little obligatory Eagles right
here. That's tempting fate, but you do you.
A little obligatory Eagles right here. ESPN has an article out today evaluating each team's surprise trends and whether they think it's going to continue or not. And for the Birds, it says, the early surprise, A.J. Brown has not been a major factor in the offense, catching just 6 balls for 35 yards. And they go on to say, we think it's a mirage. He's gone over 1,400 yards twice, over 1,000 in each of his 3 seasons here. It's just a slow start. Do we really expect the passing offense to come around? I know that it eventually has each year, but it is not as if it has been the explosive offense it was in 2022 since Shane Steichen left. And looking at what Steichen is doing with Daniel Jones in Indy, I wonder if maybe that was the special sauce there. But, I don't love what we're seeing out of the passing offense. I think it'll come around enough and it'll have big games. But to be counted on right now, Tyler, I am a little worried about not just Jalen, but the passing metrics overall, I don't know if it's specifically him or what's just going on with the offense in totality, but I'm not so ready to say, oh, it's just a mirage. They're going to pass the ball very well this year.
Well, I mean, I think if you look at the first 2 games of last year, yes, there was more to it than there was this season, right? They passed for 266 in Brazil against the Packers. They passed for 179 in that loss to the Falcons. But they also did have, over a couple weeks span, 114 passing yards against the Bucs. That game got out of hand really, really quickly. He only passed for 114 yards. In the game against the Giants, they win 28-3. They passed for 70 yards in that game because they were able to run the ball for 269. Like, they also had an 83 against the Panthers, 112 against the Ravens, multiple 120s and 140s throughout the season, and they won the Super Bowl because they got hot throughout the year, continued to put together wins in the way that they needed to. The defense was the number 1 defense in the league and rode all of that to success. And to say that it's been a slow start is, I think, objectively fair and true for the passing offense. But I also do know that this team has gone through lulls in the passing game before and then responded, right? Is that what you wanted to see, right? Against the Pittsburgh Steelers, 270. The following week, 127. Now, that was because Jalen Hurts missed most of the game with the concussion. But, you know, there's been games this year where they have had dips in the passing game, and A.J. Brown's targets have come into question. And then Colin Cowherd comes on the air and says, are they going to trade him? And we have to remind him about dead cap hits existing and things like that. But I think it's a slow start, objectively true. But I also don't worry too much about it right this second because of the fact that we've seen it before.
We have to get through the first few weeks, absolutely. But right now, they're under 127 yards per game passing through 2 weeks. Hurts has averaged almost 223 the previous 3 years. This is almost a 100-yard drop from his average. But there are 15 games left and hopefully 19 or so. So I guess I can't worry too much about it.
If we're in this spot in the end of November and we're still talking about it, then it's probably a problem, at least internally. Now, they may still win games because their run game's good and their defense is good. It may be an internal conversation, but I think right this second, as you brought up, they've won 18 of their last 19, and they've done it in a lot of different facets. And I think that there is obviously clearly plenty of time to turn this thing around.
All right, let's hit a little social studies because, man, Shohei Ohtani is from another freaking planet. And this is a tweet I saw in the beginning of the game last night from Fabian Ardaya. And it says, between pitching, hitting, and being on base, Shohei Ohtani has been on the field and part of game action for the first 21 minutes. That is freaking insane. And we saw the 50-50 club. He's the first guy ever, 50 home runs and 50 strikeouts. He throws 5 no-hit innings and hits a home run last night and gets a no decision. Tyler and I were talking about this before the show today. Obviously, okay, it's hard to say, oh, man, there's, I'll ever see anything better than Barry Bonds or whatever. But just, being good at baseball. There's never been anyone close to Ohtani, right?
No, I mean, I think you have the Babe Ruth conversation comes into play, right? That's the first thing you always think of is Babe Ruth did this in the 1920s, right? But I think when you watch how the game has evolved, how velocity has evolved, how breaking balls have evolved, how specialization has evolved, this guy is on a different stratosphere than everybody else. Last year, 50 home run season. This year, a second consecutive 50 home run season. His average in OBP, his average is down about 30 points from last year, but his OBP is up. His slug is still in the 600. He leads the league in 8 statistical categories, including OPS of 177. What he does offensively by itself is pretty darn remarkable. And then on top of it, to be over a strikeout per inning pitch, to have a whip just above 1, there's a reason this guy's won 3 MVPs, and he's probably going to win a 4th this season.
He's walking away with this one. Now that he's when it was at 14 innings pitched by the All-Star break, it was all right, is he, can we really take the pitching into consideration? Now that he's at least starting and going 5, sure, putting himself in line for wins, yeah, man, he's walking away with this thing, and I honestly don't have that big a problem with it.
No, I mean, listen, I think having the Kyle Schwarber conversation has been fun because he's had a really elite year and the home run totals are up and the RBIs are through the roof and he's leading the league in RBI still. But I think at this point, if you're objectively viewing the league, Shohei Ohtani still is the MVP of baseball. Because, too, the Dodgers have had a lot of injuries. Mookie Betts has not been good for most of the year. This has been a human Dodgers team compared to what we've expected.
Yes.
He's still been their staple.
All right, real quick, want to slip in a little Wrestling Wednesday. As you can see, this is actually a Chelsea Green shirt. I own 4 or 5 different versions of the Cactus Jack Wanted Dead shirt, all of them in the laundry right now. So I had to go with the Chelsea Green parody that she wore in Philly a few months ago. But I am so excited that this Phillies team is apparently adopting the persona of Cactus Jack, a.k.a. Mick Foley, my favorite professional wrestler of all time, and they're breaking out the Bang Bang as a celebration because there is no better badass in the history of pro wrestling than Mick Foley. He cut his teeth as Cactus Jack in ECW in Philadelphia, and man, I started the show talking about resilience. There is no one ever more resilient in pro wrestling history than Mick Foley, the man who was tossed off the top of the Hell in a Cell and got up off the stretcher to continue the match. He got thrown through the cage, thrown onto thumbtacks, and then went on to have like 10 more years of a career after that. I freaking love Mick, and I have feelers out to get Mick Foley on this show to talk about the Phillies adopting Bang Bang and his pro wrestling career. I'm working on it. It is my dream interview, but I couldn't wrap up today without talking about Cactus Jack, the best badass of all time. All right, that is all the time we have for you on Billadelphia today. Thank you all for listening. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you're following us right here on the PHLY YouTube page. We are closing in on 50,000 subscribers. We want you to do it. All you got to do, just boom, hit follow. And hit that like button as well. 33 likes, not nearly enough. All right, follow me on Twitter at Billadelphia PHLY and follow the podcast wherever you get those. That's it. Thank you to Tyler Zulli. I am Bill Matz. Till tomorrow, be excellent to each other.
We all silly like the mayor.